Man, 9:30 here in the UK PM. It's been a long day. You guys have seen my videos. But Tesla, I was sitting there with my cup of tea, winding down for the evening, looking at the Tesla earnings. And Tesla have gone and sold 75% of their Bitcoin holdings, guys. We're going to dissect exactly what has happened, what that means for the price. I mean, we're literally seeing the price start to fall now as we speak. Let me pull up the charts for you guys. Let me know in the comments, what are you thinking? What are your initial thoughts? Let's treat this as a bit of a interactive session just now. But let me pull up this completely impromptu live here, guys. But what I want to do is we're going to dive through exactly what this means, because literally we've got Bitcoin falling right now, right? Bitcoin is not happy right now, down 1.5%. We're not going to get that daily close, which we were talking about ahead of that level. So let's just see what happens here. Let's bring in the charts back again. As you can see, we're taking a fall now here, so we have to see this. We're getting rejected here, not getting the bounce from our hourly ribbon, as you'd expect. We've fallen. Let's get straight into the Tesla investor relations. And as you can see, Bitcoin impairment. This is what I want you guys to focus on. Quarter-end cash equivalents, and short-term marketable securities increased to 18.9 billion, mainly driven by free cash flow. But watch this. As of end of Q2, we have converted approximately 75% of our Bitcoin purchases into fiat currency, okay? We're going to delve into this. What does this mean for the Bitcoin price? Guys, make sure you smash up the likes if you appreciate that I'm jumping onto a live just to make sure you guys are informed. I don't want you guys to go another 15, 16 hours till I'm live tomorrow to inform you on what's going on. Let's see who we've got in the live. Gareth, shout out to you. Gareth, appreciate you. Steve, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Guys, how are you feeling about this news? Barney, good to see you. Yeah, buds, it's over. No, I'm going to explain why I don't think this is too bad. So don't lose everything just yet, guys. Don't panic. This is why I'm jumping live, just to explain. Getting sick of Elon's antics, yes. And by the way, guys, full disclosure, I've got a good set of Tesla in my portfolio. I've got a stock portfolio and I hold Tesla. So I'm giving my Bitcoin crypto perspective here, okay? Because the earnings were good from Tesla, but I'm going to be frank. There was some dressing up going on here. We're going to get to the bottom of it because I've got a finance background. I've got a traditional finance background, and this is not going to slip through me. I can look through these earnings and I can find out exactly what they're doing, okay? So let's take a look here, guys, at this together. And what we want to do is we want to find out where have they slipped this in. So we can generally see it was a good quarter for Tesla, right? For those who care. But from a Bitcoin perspective, what are they playing at? What have they done? And why are they selling? So what we need to understand, let's see if we can find it. So, whoops, let's just pop down here. Bitcoin impairment. So the bit I wanted to explain here, so the conversions in Q2 added 936 million of cash to our balance sheet. This is important, guys, because without that 936, they would not be cash flow positive. I think they would have been cash flow negative, and they didn't want to mark this to market. And this is what's really important. You have to understand that Michael Saylor's been talking about this for a while. Why do corporates not want to hold Bitcoin? Because the accounting policies are not in favor of a corporate holding Bitcoin. Did you know this? When it comes to earnings, if Bitcoin price has fallen like it has been for this whole period, the companies have to mark to market the latest value of Bitcoin. So if he bought Bitcoin at 30 and now it's sitting at 20, he has to take a third hit on his balance sheet, which is not great for his earnings. It's not great for his investors, not great for the shareholders base. You're going to get revised down from a bunch of different corporates. It's not from the rating agencies. It's not good, right? Whereas if Bitcoin runs up to 100,000, he can't mark that to market. So it's completely one-sided, and it's not great how that is. So I can understand why he's done that. I'm going to come on to the positive shortly, but let's just keep flicking through this. I want to show you if we can look at where's their finances. Here we go. So we want to find here supercharger. Here we go. So they said it was, I'm doing this completely live with you guys, 936. So it would have popped off some. So they had the operating expenses, Q2. Yeah, so they've popped it there, right? So they've managed to pop that in, and that's why they've turned positive. Otherwise, they would not have turned positive, guys. So if you look at this free cash flow figure, if you were to adjust that by the 960 million that they received from selling their Bitcoin, then this would not have been positive. They would have had a negative quarter, which they wanted to avoid. So you can see how their free cash flow here, the lowest figure they had was Q2 2021, and then it has been looking really, really good. And this month would have been a really bad month for free cash flow. So that is why they've just decided to go ahead and sell their Bitcoin. Okay. Now, here's the interesting thing. There's no need for the market to panic. The reality is he's gone and sold. So the fact that we've been seeing this rally over the last couple of days is despite his selling. So he would have sold somewhere in here, maybe on one of these days when we had a bit of a rally. Maybe he sold somewhere over here or over here. We don't know. And then we fell to the downside. But either way, we've gone ahead and rallied, and we're making a good move here despite that. So I'd feel confident that, that didn't push us down to 15,000. It didn't push us down to 13,000 here in the short term. So let's look at the positives. We know why Tesla are doing it. They want to dress up their earnings. That makes complete sense. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments. And again, 85 of you guys here, please smash up the likes. We've only got 15 likes. I've jumped on to give you guys this live stream. Please do smash up the likes. Another incentive for me. It doesn't cost you guys a penny. If you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. If you don't like this content later on, you can always unsubscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. So do subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button, and I'll keep going through this content with you guys. Let's see who else we've got in the comments. Retail investors pushing back, but I don't think they can hold the dump, at least in this volatile bearish market. They would have already sold, right? It's not like they're selling right now when they're releasing that. They've sold this at some point in the quarter. This was Q2 earnings, and they've sold it at some point in Q2. Maybe that was one of the reasons we've had difficult times. Maybe it was along this dump here. Maybe the part of that was created by them. Maybe they sold here. We don't know until they tell us when exactly they sold. No signal saying Tesla rug pulled us. I hope Musk just gets out completely. He's a cancer to crypto. I agree with some of the bits. I think Elon Musk is just playing the choir, and unfortunately, people fall for it, right? You guys know how I feel about these moon boys. We're too easily, as a community, swayed by certain individuals. You saw what happened with Do Kwon. You see what happens with certain crypto influencers on YouTube. You see what happens with Elon Musk. People just don't want to do the work. Right? They want to follow someone big who tells them what to do. Buy Doge, do this, do that. Learn to educate yourself, and then you won't have to worry about any of this stuff. You just laugh at it because you just see it all in hindsight. So you don't need to stress about it at all. Don Pratt says, Roglon. Guys, please do hit up that like button, guys. We've got 32 likes. Come on, at least get me up to 86 likes. Small channel like this. We need those likes. How much did they profit off their BTC? 960 million, guys. 960 million, which came into their free cash flow. Okay, so you can see. Let me just show you that. Here you go. 75% of their Bitcoin. So they got about $1 billion in. 936, sorry, is the exact number. But as you can see, the important bit I want to mention is without that, they would have been cash flow negative. Okay, very, very important. They would have been cash flow negative. So that's really important. That's why they've done it. So we at least know what their intention is behind it. It doesn't mean suddenly he doesn't believe in crypto or anything like that. It's just he just sold it in order to do that. Now, separate from that, for those who are interested, Tesla had a great earnings set, right? They continue to do well, even though everyone's expecting this to be their worst quarter in terms of their deliverables. But from a crypto perspective, it's not been fun at all. Steve, I think we will see BTC recover tomorrow. I think so as well. I think we'll shrug it off. Like, it's happened. We were rallying anyway. So the fact that they just told us what they did in the last quarter, who cares, right? You're going to get a bunch of inexperienced retail people who panic and say, oh my God, Elon's sold Bitcoin. I'm going to sell. I'll happily take his Bitcoin. Not an issue at all. He's not personally sold. The company has sold. He still holds Bitcoin personally. So it's not an issue at all. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Did they sell at a loss? Yes, they would have sold it at a loss, right? They would have sold at a loss. And this is what we're talking about. If you watch my video in on-chain metrics earlier on, you're going to get these weak hands selling. And this is good. This gives us an opportunity to accumulate. Guys, I want to remind you, if every single millionaire wanted a Bitcoin today, there's not enough Bitcoins on the market, right? So when these guys become, they really understand the value of Bitcoin, at that point, lay people will not have a chance of picking up Bitcoin. So we should take this as a great opportunity. If all these companies come in and start buying Bitcoin, we're not going to have a chance. Let's see what else we've got. Appreciate you, Costello. Don't forget to smash up that like button for me, buddy. It said average sale price was around 28K. Where have you seen that? I'd like to see that. Where did you see the average sale price? If you've got more detail, do send me the link, guys. I'm more than happy. I've just jumped on this live, so I've not got all the data in front of me right now. BTC trying to get past 24K, and you get this news. Exactly. And this is what happens, guys. And by the way, look, it wasn't a surprise, right? What was I tweeting all day? If you're following my tweets, and this is why you guys have to be on my Twitter, @RealJazz1. Check out my Twitter. This is something we were talking about. I said, guys, that's pretty much it for the day. We need to close above 24K, but the market could yo-yo, right? I said that. The market could yo-yo, and we need to watch Tesla. Look at this. A daily close above 24K, and we flip our daily EMA ribbon. Tesla earnings could be a catalyst post the close in either direction here. Okay, and obviously, then we weren't to know they were going to sell their Bitcoin, but they've gone ahead and dumped the market on us. Now, again, longer term, don't panic, guys. It's fine, right? We're in an okay situation here. It's not the end of the world. If this dump happened at the bottom of this bear flag, that would have been a whole lot scarier, right? Had that news came out when we were hovering precariously here, we could have lost 17,600 with the panic and started heading to see some lower prices. Average buy was 32 and sale was 28K. So it's fine for them, right? Where did you get the 28K? I know the average buy was 32. I'd like to know where you got the release that the average sale was 28K. That'd be interesting to know. Let's see if I can find out as well for you guys. In the meantime, let's see what else we got. No, yeah, but they definitely wouldn't have profited. They bought in about 32K region, so they've definitely not profited. What about the earnings of these big companies? I was hoping a slight dump because of that. Sorry, not following the stock market. Any info? But here's the interesting thing, Bikram. So because Tesla have now dressed up their earnings, the earnings look okay, right? On the surface of it, their earnings look okay. If I show you the financial summary, operating cash flow, in total, fine. It all looks good. So the market could decide to rally tomorrow based on Tesla's earnings. They don't care about Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin is correlated to the stock market. So don't be surprised if we get a green day tomorrow, simply because of the fact that the stock market could respond to this positively. You've also got United Airlines, which are earning, and maybe we could have a green day in the markets tomorrow, which allow Bitcoin to run as well. So keep a level head, follow the data, don't panic. And that's ultimately why we're here, guys, right? It's 114 of you guys in here. That's huge, guys, for this late here in the UK. Do smash up the like button for me, guys. I've got 100 odd of you in here. Only 47 likes. Come on. Small channel like this. We need that support from you guys. So do hit up that like button for me. Bow Wow says RIP for BTC now. No, not an issue. For me, I mean, we were talking about this earlier on the live stream, and a few people were commenting like, oh, they want Bitcoin to go back down. I'm in the same boat. I'm happy for Bitcoin to go back down. I'll just buy more. I get this weird feeling when Bitcoin starts rallying that I just didn't quite get enough. I just didn't do enough, because I know I've seen these bull markets. Once it runs, you don't get a chance. It just really rips and just goes back to the upside. All the tourists comes in, all the FOMO comes in, and you just wish you got a little bit more. So I'm happy either way, and that's how you guys should feel. If we're sideways, trade the ranges, right? If we're going to the upside, great, your portfolio is going to go. If it falls to the downside, get ready to buy those dips. That's the way we need to be in these markets. Otherwise, you're going to struggle emotionally with it. Shorts, yeah. Yeah, mainstream media are going to be all over this. Exactly. And that's going to create a little bit of FOMO, but be prepared for it. If we get a dip, you best believe I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into that dip, right? Elon Musk said Tesla will resume Bitcoin payments when mining is approximately 50% sustainable. Okay, so we've just heard that. Bitcoin Mining Council found that Bitcoin mining has a 59.5% sustainable energy mix. So, this is something Elon has to come out and address. Has he completely switched off Bitcoin now? His previous statements were, if it's 50% sustainable, he'll resume car payments. But then we are apparently, according to the latest Bitcoin Mining Council meeting, it's 59.5% sustainable. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we got any other breaking news for you guys. So this makes complete sense now why Bitcoin fell so bad, right? So Bitcoin fell to 17,600. Now think about it, what we've just had. I want you guys to zoom out and think about what we've just had. We had Terra Luna collapse. We had 3 Arrows Capital. We had Celsius. We had Elon Musk now selling in the background $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? All of this FUD explains why we saw that. And now that makes me even more convinced now that bottom was it. I really think that must have, it's really making me feel positive that that's the bottom. Now, I'm not going to suddenly change my mind because the macroeconomics are still not great and I want to see inflation come down. But Bitcoin went for a hell of a slanging right just there, right? It got hit and it held 17,600 like a champion, and we were just running today at 24,000. That is huge. These are big moments which in the history of Bitcoin it would not have managed. Now some people are saying 13K incoming. I don't think so. I don't think, ask yourself, are you holding Bitcoin because Tesla was holding Bitcoin? Not even Elon Musk, because Tesla, a company, was holding Bitcoin. No. Right? Now, other companies might copy and try to sell Bitcoin. I don't think they will, but I think Tesla did this to just dress up their earnings. That's the reality of it, because they were going to be cash flow negative. That's the reality of what we've seen. Now that they've got earnings out, they might buy back in lower. Yeah, they could play the game and buy in, buy back lower. I think they're just not going to bother. I just think they're not going to bother with the whole thing. I think they got a whole bunch of negative press around Bitcoin being unsustainable and all that rubbish, which you always hear. And I just think Tesla can't be bothered. They want to focus on their cars. And even though Elon Musk loves Bitcoin, I don't think the company and the shareholders are interested. They want to keep everything clean. Remember, Tesla's not a reflection of just Elon Musk. It's a huge company, $1 trillion company with investors and shareholders and the rest of it. Maybe they sold at loss for tax purposes. They buy back. Yes, that's what the previous comment just said as well. BitBoy has been talking about $1 billion Bitcoin dump. It's the coin 31,620 number from a couple of sources. Odds are it's probably somewhere between. Either way, they took the L and dumped on the market. 28,880 was calculated from. Got it. Okay, got it. Perfect. So yeah, they sold out about 28. Good job, guys. Makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, for them, that's nothing, right? 4,000 per Bitcoin, but still, it's a loss. They had to write it off. I think more important to them was dressing up their earnings. You got to understand, if they mess their earnings, stock price would dump much more than what they would have lost on the difference in their Bitcoin sell, right? We're talking about, tens of millions in the difference, and the stock price would have fell a lot more. So, yeah. Guys, please do hit that like button. 123 of you in here, but only 60 likes. That, according to me, is about 50%, which is not great at all. Smash up the like button. Only hit it an odd number of times. Really important. If you hit that like button an even number, Elon might sell again. If average sell price was 20K, then they would have been selling a while ago. Yeah, exactly. So this is what I'm saying. So that's Q2 earnings, right? So they could have sold anywhere from the 1st of March. So let's do this. Let's take a fresh chart. Let's remove the EMA ribbon. So anywhere from great about there to about end of June, right? So that would be there. So at some point they've sold between these periods, okay? So we need to keep an eye. At some point they would have sold here. Now, probably they gradually sold this, but if they sold at 28, then that would indicate they sold about in this range. So they missed the final dump. They maybe caused this dump here, guys. To be honest, they could have been the sell order here. They could have sold right there about 28, and they could have done that final drop down towards 17,600. So they could have been the catalyst behind that as well. Okay, so okay, cool. It's done. It's done. We don't need to stress about it. Will 23K hold? It depends. I think we'll see a little bit of panic through the night as people hear the news, the media spreads this news. Maybe we'll fall back down to 20. But I think the key is tomorrow what happens, because I think the markets are going to rally because Tesla is showing good earnings, right? So I think the market will rally. Let's see what CNBC say. Do they have anything? Tesla grows revenue 42%, but automotive margins decline. Okay, so they're coming at it from a stance of the revenues are good, but they're worried about the margins, because I did see that as well. The margins weren't their highest. The margins weakened, but it's still a great margin. Tesla still operates at a great margin. So it depends. How does the market want to digest this tomorrow? We'll have to see from the pre-market in the morning tomorrow. Does the market want to take this as a positive because the revenue grew 42%, or do they focus on the margin, decide to have a bit of a red day? We'll have to monitor that tomorrow. He should just invest in carbon negative coins. If you're comfortable with your portfolio, just take what the market gives you. High conviction equals low stress. Completely agree, buddy. Well, if Mr. Saylor sells, we will see lower lows. Yeah, I don't think Mr. Saylor will sell. His whole persona and image is around Bitcoin, right? I don't think he's going to sell. Will Bitcoin go to 48K in 2 weeks? Well, certain crypto fake billionaires think so. So if you want to go follow them, then they'll think you're going to run up to 40K immediately. It's a great chance now. You saw which coins were growing very fast. Absolutely, Gustavo. I love your thinking. And this is the key. You've hit the nail on the head there. This is the thinking you need. Guys, 144 of you in here. Do smash up the like button as we're dissecting what has happened with Tesla and Bitcoin. Tesla deciding to dump their whole lot of Bitcoin. 936 million, almost $1 billion of Bitcoin was sold. That's 75% of their position. They have another 25% to go. And I would not be surprised if they sell that in Q3. In fact, maybe they have already in the Q3, which is July, right? So we need to keep an eye on this. It's already happened. We can predict that they probably done it at around 28K. They bought in about 32. My arrow seems to indicate maybe they were doing their selling around the 8th, 9th, 10th of June, around this range, before we fell to our lows of 17,600. Again, I'm not too much concerned about this, guys. The fact that we're now managing to get through this, the market will now understand, okay, that's done. You had this opportunity to buy the dip, and now we can start working our way to the upside. Okay, so this is good news. The fact that we were having this rally over the last couple of days, despite that, yes, we're going to see a bit of FOMO over the next 24 hours or so as people find out this news, the media spreads the news. It's not going to be positive, but we got to look at this as an opportunity. If we get those lower prices, then for me, I know I'm going to be buying the dip if we fall back that down. You guys saw how quickly, when the market turns green, everybody FOMOs straight back in. Instead of faffing around with buying Twitter, Elon should have spent $1 billion on buying that Bitcoin from Tesla for his own bag. Yeah, exactly. I think Elon's a bit all over the place at the moment, and that's coming from someone who's invested in Tesla. And I generally like Elon as an entrepreneur. I just think his social presence is a bit odd. As long as we hold 22,800 for the weekly, we're still okay. Agreed, Ian. 28th of July is an important date, though. Yep, 28th of July is really, really important. You've got the GDP figure. Are we officially going to head 2 negative quarters in a row, which would mean we would officially be in a recession? I'm holding more Bitcoin because Tesla was holding. Yeah, I guess ultimately all of us to an extent get some conviction from the fact that a big company like Tesla would hold, right? But your thesis has to be more than that. I know it's not great that they've sold, but I don't think it's an indictment on Bitcoin. I think it's more an indictment of their free cash flow. If that was a really positive month, loads of cash flow, and they still sold, I'd be like, what's going on? But you can clearly see they were going to be a negative quarter, guys. And this is what the key finding is. I want to show you this again for those who've just jumped on the live stream late. This quarter here, free cash was only 621 million. So if you take off the 936 million they received in selling their Bitcoin, they would have been negative 300 million, okay, which would have been their worst quarter for a long time, right? That would have been horrible, and the markets would have tanked them. It wouldn't have been great. So it looks like they've done a bit of dressing up of their accounts. I'm going to have to look at this in more detail, obviously, after this live stream. I've just jumped on immediately for you guys, but that's what it seems to be from my perspective right now. Feed the bear and it will be stronger. Yeah, Gareth, I'm crazy. I've gone live again. Vicky, you're absolutely right. Hit the like button. Thank you for coming back on. You are welcome. Bitcoin bouncing off the bottom of VWAP. Yep. Oh, I didn't know that. Ian. If that's true, that's quite sad. Cool, guys. Don't forget to hit up the like button. Let's go back into the Bitcoin price and let's see how we're reacting here on the 5-minute. And you can see straight away, this was the dump. As soon as it happened, this was the big candle dump. It took us from a high of 23,700. We were just hovering close to that 24,000. And it looked like, were we going to get some support and try quickly close above 24,000, right, on the daily candle? But then the Tesla earnings came out. We fell from that level as low straight to 23,000 here on the low of the candle. And then we fell as low down here as 22,900. I think it's held up okay. I think more people are going to find out about the news over the next kind of couple of hours, and maybe we'll see a bit more of down. But then we have to see what happens tomorrow. Okay, really, really important. We need to find out what happens tomorrow. Do the markets open up green in the equities? That's what that is what I want to see. This is my point, Gareth. Like, maybe if Tesla had negative earnings, Bitcoin would have fell more than this because the markets would have fallen and then Bitcoin would have fallen, right? Risk would have went off again. So technically risk is on, which is good. It's just Tesla sold some Bitcoin. So longer term, it's actually, it's annoying that we're going to have to address this thing about Tesla, and no longer can we lean on the fact that such a great company like Tesla is holding Bitcoin, because we know that's the narrative that attracts new investors, right? You can tell somebody, oh, you should hold some Bitcoin, right? Tesla holds some. Why wouldn't you? You can go around small companies telling them that. But now, I guess you can't say that anymore, and we'd have to find out what are the deeper reasons why they sold. But for me, I can't see any deep reason why they sold apart from just dressing up their cash flow. I think that's all it was. They were fed up of having to mark the losses to market, and they just sold. Martin, appreciate it. Please make sure you are all smashing up that like button, guys. If you want to buy or trade any crypto, do support the channel. BitGet and BYBIT are the two exchanges I use. Again, that supports the channel. As you guys know, I'm making content all day, every day. The best way I could do that without pumping and dumping any stupid coins, which you guys know I will never do on this channel, is just to be partnered with these exchanges. I know a lot of these exchanges have a bad reputation with a lot of guys because people shield them the wrong way. But all it is if you sign up with these platforms, it supports the channel, right? You're going to trade anyway. You're going to use an exchange anyway. So I figure that's an ethical way of me supporting the channel is by having these affiliate links in the description. So do check out those affiliate links if you want to trade. If you don't have an exchange set up, if you're in the US, BitGet is a really good up and coming exchange. They've got a sponsorship with Juventus Football Club as well. So they're doing some big things, and definitely an exchange for you to check out. They've got some really cool features, including copy trading and a bunch of other stuff as well. Also, if any of you want to learn technical analysis, message me in Discord. Okay, I'm going to put the Discord in the chat. It's just jars.uk/Discord. You can find it in the links of any of my descriptions, and message me in the Discord because I can get you guys set up and enrolled onto my technical analysis course. So if you want to learn about technical analysis and you're willing to get the education, then message me in the Discord. Comedy jars, why would they hold whilst it's sunk? Sell it, then buy back in cheaper. You know this. Well, the argument is if I show you the chart, actually, what we're seeing here is if they sold at 28, look where they sold, right? They just missed the last dump. It's not like they missed everything, right? They held their Bitcoin. They bought in a Bitcoin at 30. They held it up to 69. So if your premise was right, why would they have not sold at any point during this downtrend? Of course they would have, but they didn't. They held. They got back to flat cost basis, and as soon as they went a little bit red, they sold it. And they caused this last dump, in my opinion, now that we've got this data. So it's not that they avoided this, because this may have never happened if they didn't sell. Maybe we were ready to rotate from here. We'll never know that. But my point is they would have sold at 60,000. They could have sold at 50. They could have sold at 40 if they wanted to buy back in lower. Why did they buy back in now? Because when it turns negative, you have to write off the difference in your account. You have to mark it to market. So it's starting to have an effect on them. When it's green, when the portfolio is green, it doesn't impact them. They don't have to do anything to their balance sheet. Okay, so that's really, really important to understand. At 69, I know, but on the way down, do you think they're stupid? They know the price is going down, right? Maybe they could have sold at 50, maybe they could have sold at 40, they could have even sold at 35, slightly green, right? They didn't have to wait for them to go red and then they sold. So they sold, in my opinion, during this quarter because they saw that their earnings, and look how late it was in June, right? This ties in at about 20,000. It's about June. So they're coming to the end of the quarter. They can see cash flow is not looking great. Their earnings would look great. Maybe they just sold it just to rid it. They don't need to market, and they can put the cash flow on their balance sheet so they get positive cash flow for the month. It all stacks up, right? Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'll do a deeper dive into this later on. That's what it's showing me. I'm just giving you my raw opinion live with this data right now. We can only go off the data I've got right now. Earnings literally came out a little while ago. Guys, thank you for jumping on this live stream. Almost 10 p.m. here in the UK. It's my second live stream for the day and my fourth video. Do hit up the like button. I'm losing my voice. I don't have any water here. Great. If we hold the line here, that was the bottom. It's going to be interesting now. I want to see what resolve does Bitcoin have over the next day or couple of days and weeks. What resolve does Bitcoin have? Is it going to take this and panic? Is it going to go back down to 17,600? If it does, I'm personally going to be buying the dip, right? If it doesn't, wow, what great strength. You know, we can shrug it off. We've matured as a project. You don't need Tesla. We didn't need it on the way up, and we don't necessarily need it now either, right? So, you know, it is a fundamental problem that they sold. I mean, it's not great, and we no doubt will hear more from Elon Musk, maybe on the earnings call if he says something about it, or maybe later in the next couple of days we'll hear about it. I'm just refreshing just to see if there's any more news here. And this is the point, right? It's all just to dress up their balance sheet, in my opinion. They would have had a negative 300 million cash flow. That's what they would have had. Just take off the 936 from the 620. They would have negative 300 odd cash flow in that period. And I think this is good long-term, guys. We don't need mavericks in this space. Bitcoin, over the last 12 years, was not built based on mavericks. It was built based on the project getting better and better and long-term holders coming and buying. We don't need this. You know, when everybody says, oh, we want these corporates to come in, we want institutional money. When you go through this process, there's good and bad. You need to take the good with the bad. When everybody was cheering that Tesla bought, I was lamenting the fact that I know how these companies operate. They operate for their shareholders and for their investors. They don't care about Bitcoin, right? You and I, when we buy Bitcoin, we care about the Bitcoin. They don't. And so it's a double-edged sword. Yes, we want the adoption, but we're happy to have it later. They can buy in at higher prices. Let us do the work to get Bitcoin to 100,000. They can buy in at those levels because they're going to be playing around with it. And they can do that at the higher lines thereafter. Ian sold at 57. That seems so good in hindsight. That aged really well now. Capitulation already happened, Min says. Guys, thank you so much. We've hit 107 likes. Please, can we keep going? If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe. We've just recently hit 10,000 subscribers, and we've got to take this channel to 100,000. So if you want to be with me on this journey, if you want to join us in disrupting all these moon boys and bringing real content to this crypto space as and when we need it, not based on what suits my agenda, then smash up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and support this channel. When they realized there was no cash in the sofa, exactly. Mr. Musk buy high, sells low. Also at a loss, they avoid tax. Very good point, Jeff. At a loss, they avoid any tax implications, so their P&L shows a loss. They pay nothing on capital gains. 100%. It's all marrying up. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Elon Musk can come out and say something else, but that's what it looks like. We can only read what they've given us. I bought the dip. Gustavo, have a good night. You too, buddy. Thanks as usual. Top work, mate. When crypto climbs, you will stand head and shoulders above the shillers online. Appreciate you, Jeff. Make sure you stay subscribed. Your subscribers will balloon. Appreciate you guys. And the reality is, subscribers is one thing. I just want to make sure those people entering crypto right now are entering, knowing what they're getting themselves into, understanding the different dynamics, and trying to learn crypto. I mean, it's not okay. I mean, like, that you guys know. Go and watch the videos of people today, right? Go and watch other YouTubers. And how many of them showed you a technical analysis pattern or said, oh, I'm taking this long trade up to 48,000 on Bitcoin? And it's all ridiculous. How many of them told you there's earnings coming up? How many telling you about CPI? How many of them are telling you that the FOMC meeting is coming up, or GDP, and looking at Tesla's earnings and dissecting their cash flow? Like, they're not doing that, right? They're just gambling. Absolutely. That's all they're doing, is they're gambling. They're not investing. Completely agree with you, Jeff. Leverage is just crazy risk. I mean, there's no need for it at all. And the difference in investing and gambling is a mindset, guys, right? A mindset is a gamble. If you're going into something with no premise around why that thing has value, why you think it's going to increase, that is a gamble, right? You have nothing, you don't feel like there's any control behind it. That's a gamble. If you're investing, then that's different. If they only needed 300 million, why not sell what they needed to break even? Why sell so much Bitcoin? Because of this, guys. Look. So look, the amount they sold, when they sold the 75%, it equaled the equivalent worst quarter from Q2 2021, because everybody looks at year-on-year figures. Okay, this is why you need to understand traditional finance. And it's a great question you asked, Naveed. And I would have asked that same question, but because I was in traditional finance, I've seen these games before, right? That now shows 0 instead of negative, because it goes that number divided by that number is your year-on-year figure. So the headlines will say things like, net cash went up 11%, capital expenditures went up 15%, cash equivalents, and flat on free cash flow. That's the headline, right? No one's going to delve into it as much. Whereas if it's negative, your free cash flow was negative, that would have been an issue. Okay, so they sold just about enough. Look, 600 to put that percentage of 0. And you could argue the other way, right? If it wasn't about this, why didn't they just sell 100? If he fundamentally didn't believe in crypto or something happened, why did he sell 75? Why didn't he sell 100% of it? Right? Doesn't make sense, right? True, Jars. That's why I stopped watching others. Only Jars every day. No, and don't just watch me. Really important. Watch other people, right? But watch people who you respect, who you value. If you delve into it. Do they know their stuff? Are they actually giving you good information? Like, hopefully, I like to think if you jump on my stream, I'm sharing data with you, and I'm not just sharing my viewpoint, right? I'm sharing data, insights, and maybe educating or doing some entertainment as well on information that's valuable to you. I'm not just saying, oh, look, take a leverage long position, right? So go and get a good variety of sources. Read Twitter, read blog content, read books, understand things. Not just one person, not including me, not just one person. Tinus, go watch my on-chain video from earlier today. I made a Bitcoin on-chain video. It's the first video I posted today. Hopefully that answered your question. If it doesn't, reach out to me in the Discord, and I'm happy to explain. Leverage lets you trade size without needing your cash on dirty exchanges. Leverage is not the problem. Risk management is. Okay, fair enough. But just the stats show that the majority of people misuse leverage. Obviously, there's always good people that use leverage within their means, but we know the majority don't, right? It's like saying, oh, people who are leasing cars. Yes, there are a few people that lease cars sensibly and they put their money to work in a real estate deal or crypto or something else where they make more money than their car payment. But we know the majority of people are just buying cars which they can't afford, and then they miss their payments. So, yeah. Ian, I think it's good. Always watch with skepticism and watch me with skepticism too. And if you have any issues with what I'm saying, I want you to challenge me. I want you to message me in the Discord. I want you to reach out to me at any point, whether it's a small channel, it's a big channel. Question me, right? Make sure that you're like, okay, this guy understands. He's done his research, and doesn't mean I'm going to get everything right. I'm just a human like you, analyzing data, just like you guys. TSR, good to see you guys. Don't forget to smash up the like button. Can we get to 150 likes, guys? That would be awesome if you guys could get me to 150 likes here. Boiling hot heat wave here in the UK. It's a bit cooler today than yesterday, but we're not used to it. So I'm just whining like a little baby. Great channel. You will have a lot more subscribers soon. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Malky. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price. We'll leave this up as I'm going through the comments. I'll put it on the 5-minute here. Oh, look, we're getting a bit of a bounce now. Starting to get this little bounce. But the question, I wouldn't worry about this too much now, right? Don't pay too much attention to this, because the likelihood is the news is going to proliferate. Asian markets are going to open up. Bit of a panic. Tomorrow morning as well. European markets, will they panic a little bit? So just chill for a bit. Just chill for a bit. That's important. I know, man. What are we going to do? What are we going to do with this? This bear market has shook out the rotten scams. The ones who have survived this bear market are a worthy buy most of the time. Good point. And that's always a good point. Those with kind of shoddy risk practices, we've seen them fall to the lay-by. But there will be others who are hanging on, right? There will be others who are hanging on there that are also having problems. Now, look, guys, you're seeing all these coins really fall to the downside now. We're seeing Phantom collapse now, down 8%. And again, we spoke about this, right? I tweeted about this earlier. I made a video about it earlier. We're likely to come down to this 30 cents for support. Obviously, I didn't know Elon Musk was going to do what he was doing, but I saw the bearish divergence, which I shared with you, and you can see us falling down to the downside here. Similarly, let's take a look at Matic, down 10%. And you're seeing the ones which run up quicker will obviously consolidate quicker as well. There's very normal behavior here. We're falling down here on Matic, trying to get some support at 80 cents here. Let's see if it can build itself back up from here. Let's see what else you guys have got in the comment section. Guys, don't forget to hit up the like button. What's this? I had to sell my Bitcoin on CRO. I never had much, but I haven't been holding much on exchanges. I have been moving Bitcoin onto a USB for private keys. I just add what I can. I don't have a lot of money. Absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with what you just said. That sounds perfect. If I was, not doing YouTube every single day, watching the markets every single day, I would just be taking my income from my salary, dollar cost averaging in, good price, bad price, doesn't matter. Over the next few years, I'll just be dollar cost averaging a little bit of money into crypto, which, even in worst case to worst, crypto fell through the floor. Who cares? I wouldn't have missed it. But in the positive case, if crypto does become it, I would have had enough of a position in it. Tesla would have had a good earnings report. Yes, scroll back. This is what I said. Arguably, even with this, what they've done, it might work out better for Bitcoin, because Tesla can show good earnings, markets can be green tomorrow, and maybe Bitcoin will follow suit and be green, right? But still, we have to weigh in the fact that some people are going to panic when they wake up to the news that Tesla has dumped all this Bitcoin, right? So it's going to be a bit of an issue. But I think it's fine. I think it's good news. I think they've done it. The market held up well, and we were running to 24,000 just hours ago, even after Tesla has sold. So let's move on. The fundamentals are looking good. We've had our capitulation. Let's move on. TSR, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not just going to make up numbers for the sake of it. Food shortages, Fortune Phantom. We've covered Phantom. Okay, cool. Right, guys. Don't forget to smash up the like button. And can we get to 150 likes, guys? What else do you guys want to look at? Are you still worried? Just to recap for those joining this stream live, Tesla selling 75% of their Bitcoin holdings, okay, in Q2. We think we've managed to dial it in at exactly where they've sold it. If I come onto the daily chart, it looks like they sold at about 28K, okay? So it feels like they would have done their selling. Whoops. at about that region where the arrow is showing. Probably about here at about 28K, and they could have caused this fall to the downside potentially. So this is the theory. And we can also see that on their accounts, they showed 600 million in positive cash flow. Now, if they didn't have the 936 from the Bitcoin sale, they would have shown a negative 300 million loss in their cash flow. Okay, so I think this is a bunch of dressing up just for the sake of making their earnings look good. But there's light at the end of the there's light at the end of the tunnel, because if Tesla is showing good earnings and this kind of thing comes up on the main screen on CNBC and the markets open up, maybe that could be a good thing. But at the same time, people are not going to be happy that Tesla has dumped Bitcoin. And I think we're going to get a little more panic before we start getting our way back up to the upside. Okay. Hopefully that gives you guys a good summary. I'm not going to look at any other tokens for now, guys. Sorry, this is just for Tesla. Thank you guys for jumping on. I mean, this will be interesting, right? Let's see the strength of Bitcoin now. I personally think Asian markets might get a little stressed about the whole Tesla news. But let's see. I mean, we're trying to fight this back up above 24. If I bring out the EMA ribbon, this is the close we're fighting for. And this Tesla news hasn't helped us at all, right? That's what we're trying to do, is close above this EMA ribbon. Right, guys, thank you for jumping on this live stream. I'm going to go get some rest. We'll see you tomorrow for no doubt some more exciting days in the crypto market. Guys, smash up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the links in the description to BYBIT and BitGet to support the channel if you feel so. And I will see you in the next one.